Very good afternoon. Welcome to Matchday Live Extra. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me is the Hall of Fame Andy Thompson at a very cold Carrow Road. And joining us from her wonderfully heated home is the former Wolves women defender, Claire Hakeman, who looks like they might have the fire on there. It looks very cosy. I imagine it's quite wintry setting back in the Midlands. Certainly was snowing when we were heading down here, although Tomo doesn't know that, everyone, because he had a little cheeky weekend away in the Holiday Inn, which is literally over in the corner of the ground from where we are. So he actually was here before me for once in a while, Tomo.
Once in a while, yeah. Always here early.
What a remarkable occasion that you got to a game before me. Claire, good to have you with us again, as ever. We will get into plenty talking about West Ham, looking ahead to Norwich. Want to focus a little bit on Ruben Neves as well today, and maybe try and dive into what's going on with him at the minute, because he seems to be having a little bit of inconsistency, but when he is good, he is very, very good. But before we get into any of that, Tomo, just a quick word on last week, because the feel-good factor that comes from beating a team like West Ham is something that I imagine when you're in a dressing room, you want to just bottle that and bring it out whenever you can, because they must have felt absolutely on cloud nine last week.
Oh, without a doubt. So, look, we've said the inconsistency of what we've shown in the last few weeks or so. And to go there against West Ham, because a lot of people doubted that we was actually going to get anything out of the game with the way that West Ham have been playing. But I'll tell you what, we more than matched them. Created some great opportunities, but then had 2 or 3 opportunities to score as well. So it looks like it's just that we've got to get consistency, haven't we? So we've said it all the time. So like it's either one or the other. So we played awful at Crystal Palace, and then we come to West Ham straight from the off and totally outplayed them in my eyes. I thought that we dominated the game for long spells, kept the ball really well. The tempo was good, created a few opportunities. So look, that's what we want to see from our team. So again, we come in today. You're expected to win today, but you never know. New manager coming in the last few weeks. They've had 2 victories back to back, so it'll be interesting today. We'll see what Wolves team turn up.
Because Claire, that's the key question, isn't it? They have been an up and down. We mentioned Ruben Neves, but as a group, they've been up and down in recent weeks. So it's kind of hard to know which Wolves is going to turn up today.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Where we've had great team performances, like obviously Villa getting the result right at the end, and then the Everton game. I thought the first half there we were collectively brilliant and massively on form. But every time we've had those displays, it's been followed up with a bit of a disappointing display at Leeds, where we weren't quite at the races, and the same at Palace. So today's quite important, really, I think, to show that we can do the back-to-back performances and go and grind another result out.
Because they have got results away from home, Tomo, this year. It seems to be that it is the away performances that have been the more down in recent weeks. But yet we went to Watford and won, we went to Southampton and won, and we very nearly were, 60 seconds away from winning at Leeds.
Yeah, it was.
Plus Villa, of course.
Yeah, the performance against Leeds wasn't very good. But again, if you'd have said to me, we'll give you a point against Leeds, you would have took it. The game against Villa, Salah didn't play really well at all. Last 10, 15 minutes, all of a sudden, different team in the way that we played. We said that the quality wasn't that good in that top third. Then one bit of brilliance from Neves with a pass to Podence. They then get that goal, and then all of a sudden the game changes. And that's what Wolves have been like this season. So, look, okay, played absolutely brilliant the first 3 games, never got a result on no goals. But it's trying to get that consistency. We're trying to make sure that we get everything. The performance probably against West Ham has probably been our best performance in 90 minutes. The way that we played, with the way that we created things as well. So West Ham had a little spell in the first half and the second half. But for me, I thought that it was all our performance, the way that we played. But we've got to go and do that every week. We can't just be putting it on for the teams near the top. This is going to be a difficult game today. And I'll tell you what, if we don't compete against them, we'll get turned over. We've got to make sure that we get into their faces a little bit, make sure that we show our quality, especially in that top third. That's been one of the disappointments. Has been the creativity in that top third for me this year. But again, against West Ham, we saw a lot more of it. We only got the 1 goal, but again, it was the overall performance that I enjoyed.
Well, Tomo enjoyed it. We all enjoyed it. Let's enjoy it again. This is the best of last week against West Ham.
There comes Bowen for West Ham, driving forwards, and he's crossed, just evaded Pablo Fornals. Cresswell will pick up on it on the left-hand side, trying to put it back into the danger zone. Bowen's headed down just wide of the right-hand post with Jose Sarr at full stretch. His grip on the game has grown, and that's a lovely ball for Jimenez. Flag has stayed down. Jimenez into the area, lifts it over the goalkeeper, and it's wide. As Chan Huang goes down the left-hand side, infield to Moutinho, 25 yards out, and he fancies a go! It's just tipped over the crossbar by Fabianski. Getting himself set to deliver. Whipped in towards the near post, headed down by Saiss, and flashes through the 6-yard box and behind for a goal kick. Wonderful first touch. Here's Podence who strikes it through, and Fabianski just about managed to make the ball squirm past the left-hand side of the post. Back infield to Podence inside the penalty area. Podence striking! Oh, what a save by Fabianski! Neves, lovely ball again. Here's Semedo driving into the West Ham half. Jimenez, first time to the right side to Podence. Podence pulling it back. Jimenez! Oh, what a goal! That's absolutely brilliant from Wolves. The slick into play, matched by a perfect finish into the bottom corner by Raúl Jimenez. And Saiss has done brilliantly, and he now finds Adama Traoré, and Traoré trying to hold off his man, and Wolves have players breaking forwards. Adama Traoré through the middle, Adama Traoré to shoot, it's blocked. So an impressive performance, an impressive result. Can Wolves keep it going at Carrow Road here today? Team news very shortly, but Gemma Frith has been down, a little bit further down from us in the stand, giving us a little bit of context of today's fixture.
Yes, we are at Carrow Road this afternoon for Norwich v Wolves. Storm Arwen is still going strong here with 50-mile-an-hour winds predicted this afternoon, but hopefully they'll hold off. We had quite the journey this morning after waking up to snow in Wolverhampton, but we're here and we're ready for kick-off. The players had a more restful morning as they arrived last night as they look to make it consecutive wins in the league here today. But we're going to be facing a Norwich side full of confidence after their back-to-back wins against Brentford and Southampton, and with their new manager Dean Smith now at the helm. But we have got a good record against Norwich historically, winning 32 of our 61 meetings and remaining unbeaten in the previous 4. The last time we were here at Carrow Road was back in 2019 for that comeback win thanks to Raúl Jimenez's 80th minute winner. Raúl's actually got a perfect record against Norwich, scoring in both of his meetings with the Canaries, so hopefully he'll score again today to make it 3.
Gemma Frith giving us a little bit of the context of today's fixture. Let's take a look at the team news for today then. One change, it is enforced. Daniel Podence has tested positive for COVID, so Francisco Trincao comes into the starting lineup. Wolves only able to name 8 substitutes today, and that includes 2 goalkeepers, which is not the first time this season the Wolves have had 2 keepers on the bench, but with Willy Boly picking up an injury in the week as well, Wolves really are down to low numbers, which Bruno Lage has talked about, and he has talked about the possibility of more of the under-23s getting involved. Luke Cundle is the man who's on the bench for Wolves from the under-23s, captain, scored 2 in his last 2, by the way, in really good form, so it'll be interesting to see whether he gets a first-team opportunity in the coming weeks. What's a busy period of games for Bruno Lage's team, but Tomo, the choice was always going to be Trincao or Traoré to come in today for Daniel Podence, and he's gone for Trincao. Would you have gone the other way?
Yes, possibly. So, look, I just think that away from home probably gives that little bit more about driving forward and all that. But again, so look, he thinks that he's got more trust in Trincao with the way that he wants to play. Look, we all know Traoré can cause problems for teams, and we've said this before, that he's got to do it for longer spells throughout the game. So, look, we don't want him just showing little bits and pieces. We need him to maintain it throughout the game and cause problems, because there's no doubt about the ability that he's got going forward with the ball and what he creates with the ball. We saw that run that he did last week. Possibly he could have passed it, but he's gone for the shot, and that's been kind of typical for him, where He just selected the wrong option. But again, he's gone for Trincao, somebody that he thinks can do a job out there. And like I say, he's improved what he's doing. But for me, I would have just liked to have seen Traore out there today. So look, I think this would be a game for him.
Traore or Trincao for you, Claire?
I think after the last game, it's difficult to say, isn't it? I think Traore is quite a nice option to have on the bench as the impact sub to come on and change the game and really take it to Norwich when they're tiring. I think Podence and Trincao play quite similarly. They play like in between the lines, so they're a similar like-for-like player. So maybe it'll help to replicate the performance against West Ham, the way that we played in between the lines, and he finds those little pockets of space. I think going into so many games and so many fixtures in December, it's going to be important to actually have the whole squad. So, we want to get Trincao minutes today, and I've no doubt that Adama's time will come in the next few games because we're going to need every man in that squad.
We'll talk about the midfield in just a second, but let's hear from Bruno, who's been talking ahead of this game.
Are you facing Norwich at the wrong time? They've just started to hit a bit of form in the last couple of games.
No, I think every time the games are coming in the right moment. So I can say maybe the question, if you were here last week, you say the same thing. West Ham come in the right moment, so they are doing very well. So what I think is important to say, they did the good game. The last game, it was very good. They won, and for me, Dean is one of the best managers in UK. So you can look how he works. I follow him since Brentford, the work he did in Brentford, the work he did in Aston Villa, and that's why it's not a surprise for me. Just stay 1 or 2 weeks out, because when he have a chance, he returns. So I think it's going to be a good game. I think Norwich will try to put. They have 1 more week to go. Try to put his own ideas, and I think he's like me. He wants his team to have the ball. I want my team to have the ball. So it's going to be a massive challenge for us to play against them.
Bruno Lage, a big fan of Dean Smith. Let's talk a little bit about one of the potential main men for Wolves today. We've talked a little bit about him, quite a lot about him last week, and interested in getting Claire's views on this, because Ruben Neves has been one of the standout players for Wolves of the last 4-year period or so. First of all, before we get to anything else, settle a debate here, Tomo. Did he mean that pass?
Yeah, without a doubt. You saw the outside of it. He hit it with the outside of his foot, and the ability that he's got to pick those passes out, without a doubt, that he's, for me, I know people have questioned it, but he knew what he was doing. You just watch him just hit like that with the outside of his foot. So if he was going to shoot that, it would be going hard and low, or, again, it was going towards the target. There's no doubt that, for me, that was the ball out there, and it just shows you the quality that he's got. I know people question it, but it's just a great ball. Oh, just watching it time and time again.
Claire, pass or shot?
Yeah, I think it's a pass. I think there's so much spin on that ball. He's so technically good. His foot would have gone straight through that. He definitely meant it to go in that direction, and a great ball it was.
Well, you just watch him as well, though, so it's the outside of his right foot. So if he was going to hit it or shoot at the target, it'd be going through the laces for me. But that's just the outside of his right foot. It's a great ball. So nobody else saw that apart from him.
Do you think there's almost an element that, because I called it as a pass in commentary at the time, do you think there's almost an element that because he's kind of not had the best couple of years, Ruben Neves, in terms of the heights that he reached in the championship season, when he used to play passes all over the place, he's been a lot more disciplined in the last couple of years. So we haven't really seen him in those kind of areas, close to the edge of the penalty area, and producing those kind of passes. Tomo mentioned the one at Villa that set up Daniel Podence, that it's almost got under the radar, just the kind of genius thinking, Claire, that Ruben Neves actually has.
He's just such an all-rounder, isn't he? His ball retention is unreal. I remember the Everton game in the first half, just thinking, I don't think he misplaced a pass for so long. I watched him, and the range of his passing is just pretty spectacular at times. If you're defending against him, you don't know what's coming at you. He can play a brilliant through ball. He can switch the play. He can play it short and sharp. And also the way that he wins the ball back for us, he breaks up the play so well. He makes tackles that you don't know how he's actually won the ball back. Attack, so massively important for us.
Because Tomo, is there an element look, we would hope that they will go out and strengthen midfield in January. It is the one area where they are severely lacking in numbers. But we often talk about Ruben Neves as being maybe a holding midfielder, or that's the way he's been in recent times. Do you look at him now and kind of go, actually, he might be evolving into a complete all-round central midfield?
Well, that's what you're hoping. But for him to do that as well, I think that he's got to score more goals. I think last week I said this, that he's got to contribute up the other end as well. So there's no doubt in the ability that he's got, his range of passing, his technique on the ball, as we've seen time and time again. For me, I think that he's coming to an age now where he's got to dominate games. And we've seen it in spells, but making sure that he does it consistently throughout the games. Like Claire said there on the Everton game, the first half hour, he was absolutely unbelievable the first half an hour, the way that he played. We saw him against West Ham. Again, the game wasn't great at Crystal Palace, but what we've got to do, we've got to make sure that we try and get as best we can. You're looking at the bench, you're looking at the numbers that we've got. It just shows you how low we are on numbers and what we've got as a squad, and we need to make sure that we add to it. And I'm sure that the manager's definitely looking at that for January.
We talk about passing range, perhaps distribution. Jose Sarr, Claire, absolutely phenomenal now. The amount of times that he is able to get that ball in hand and get it downfield. I mean, this was, look at the way he's looking. It's like a quarterback looking around. Where am I going to place this ball? And he placed that to perfection.
Yeah, I think he gives us loads of versatility, doesn't he? I think defensively, other teams cannot predict what he's going to do with that ball, and that's great, because I think at points, maybe with Patricio, we were a little bit predictable in the way that we played out. But I think now we've got different aspects to our game. Obviously, he assisted against Raul's goal against Southampton. He's just, yes, I think there's risks with his game, but I think his distribution is superb.
When you look at him today, Tomo, I mean, you'll probably be able to tell me different because you've played it, but it feels like this is a smaller, more compact pitch than Molineux and Southampton. So will he be able to do that, or is that kind of the kind of pass that's going to end up just going straight through to Tim Krul?
Well, look, so he's got to be looking for it, because we know that that's the kind of player that he is. He's always looking for that counter attack and early. And again, it's all about the quality from that ball from back to front. Look, he's going to have to improvise a little bit, take a little bit off it, like with the weather as well, skidding through as well with the water on the surface. But that's what you want to see from your keeper. If you can get that straight away, and he does it so well. He's always looking for it. And the thing is, though, with a long ball like that, it's no danger for me, because he puts us on the front foot if it comes off, and we're making sure that we're pushing up, as you saw with Podence on that one. But I think that it's something that we can actually use a lot with Jimenez up there as well. Traore, if Traore plays, Trincao up there. But again, it's something that we can utilise, and I think that he's had a good season so far. With Patricio going, people were starting to question who we're going to have. Well, for me, I think they brought in Sarr, who looks a more than competent goalkeeper, and the way that he plays.
Claire, just quickly, what are you expecting from Norwich today?
I think it's going to be a really tricky game, to be honest. I think they've got, they've had back-to-back wins. They've got the momentum, and it's irrelevant of what's happened previously. They've got a new manager in now, so I think he'll be keen to stamp his authority down on the game. He's making changes. People are playing for their shirts, aren't they? And they're pretty much 3 points, albeit goal difference, away from getting out the relegation zone. So it's a huge game for them. But equally, we want to go and get a result after the performance against West Ham and show that we can take it home and away. And but I think it's going to be a tough one. I'm hoping we're gonna nick it. I think pitch conditions. I think it's a bit of a leveler potentially at pitch side with the wind as well. So. We'll see what happens, but hopefully we can nick the win and be solid defensively and take a clean sheet home with us as well.
30 seconds, Tomo. What do you make of it today?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be tough. The conditions are going to be tough. Like you said, we're quite sheltered here in the stand, but I think the wind is blowing quite a bit, the rain coming down. So, look, it's going to be making sure that we don't allow Norwich to try and get on top of us. We've got to try and play our game, try and dominate possession as much as we can. But, again, I think that we've got to take our opportunities. We've got to be more creative, as I said, time and time again, in that top third, because we've got the quality up there. But I think that we'll just nick it for me.
2-1 you're going for, yeah?
Oh, what a surprise, eh?
Claire?
I might nick your 1-0 Wolves.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Mikey.
3-1.
Oh.
3-1. Our producer Aaron's just told me to go for that, so I'll go for that. I was going to go there anyway. I think we might score 3 today. I think it's crossed.
Well, I hope so.
Hopefully we score 3, yeah, definitely. Don't forget, full live commentary is available from Tomo and myself at wolves.co.uk, available on the move via the Wolves app. We'll hear more from Claire at half-time and full-time, and you can listen to our full post-match roundup available via Wolves Radio whenever you want during the week as well. We'll leave you with memories of the last time we were here at Carrow Road. Can Wolves repeat the feat and keep their form going? Enjoy the game.
Neves forwards. Jimenez beaten to it. The header went straight to Pukki. Wolves are really struggling to keep hold of the ball. And now it's whipped out on the left-hand side. Flag has stayed down. McLean's ball in. Pukki missed it. It's teed up though for Canwell. Oh no! Turn home from near the penalty spot. Wolves find themselves behind, and you have to say the goal has been coming. Rui Patricio's made 2 very good saves in the game, but he had no chance then. Norwich just had too many numbers in the penalty area, and they made that numerical advantage count, and they lead. Norwich 1, Wolves 0. Doherty has it again, in towards Traore. Traore trying to turn, has one bounce off him. Now, oh, that's a lovely ball to find Jimenez. Jimenez, right-hand side, into the penalty area. Raul Jimenez to strike, took a deflection and goes behind for a corner.
Better play, great vision from Traore.
And Martinho with the corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. Dendonka waits near the edge of the box to run in from late. Saiss and Jimenez are near the penalty spot. It goes short to Johnny. Back to João Martinho, delivering it first time, hanging it high to the far post. Saiss is header! Oh, Wolves are back level! Would you believe it? Romain Saiss popping up at the far post. It's Norwich 1, Wolves 1, back on level terms, back in this game.
Well, we talk about putting the quality in. He's gone with his corner all afternoon. It hasn't come off the majority of the time, but he puts a good ball in. Great area. It was a great header, wasn't it, for Saiss? It was a great header.
Saiss trying to set it down the line for Neto, who nods it back down to Johnny. Johnny leaves it for Pedro Neto. Infield to Johnny, flicked again down the line for Neto. Neto flicks it across it, Doherty! What a save, comes to Jimenez! Raul Jimenez turns it home from 8 yards out, and it means so much to the Mexican sensation! From 1-0 down to 2-1 up. What a turnaround here at Carrow Road. And it could well be that early Christmas present that all Wolves fans have been dreaming of. Norwich 1, Wolves 2.
Well, that's come from Neto down this left-hand side again. Little 1-2 with Johnny. Delivered a great ball in. I think it was Doherty had the first one. Good save. Oh, but Jimenez, good composure, good first touch. But again, so good play from Neto down this side. And that man Doherty in there again, trying to get his name on the score sheet.
16 goals in 29 appearances. Si, senor.